You guys there? It keeps messing up. I don't know what's happening. It just keeps disconnecting it over and over. Oh, okay, hang on. Yeah, you guys are there. Awesome. Let's see. Yeah, put the camera on the right side. I can put my finger down. So we have, let's see who else here. We got Francisco and Kevin. Jonathan's here. What's up, Matt? Oh, we got, it's everybody, is it, I guess it's evening time for everybody pretty much. I think most of the people that listen to the channel, watch the channel, are from in the States, I do believe, but I don't know. So has it cleared up for you guys now? For some reason, like I had to shut it down, and I shut the whole feed down, tried to restart it, and all of a sudden it told me I could resume my old stream. So, did you guys hear me cussing? Because there was like an hour of cussing there, so it felt like so. Awesome. Okay. Right on. Well, I kind of I've talked to a few of you guys, and I've kind of admitted that I've been in kind of a, I guess, creative funk. I just put out the last video, and sometimes you put out a video and I wasn't satisfied with it. I feel like I put it out when I shouldn't have, and I even talk to people and tell them, other guys that make videos, that usually it's just good to take a break, because I feel like I wasted some footage not making I feel like it could have been better. But so I kind of been chilling on doing any videos and stuff, but I'm hoping the weather's gonna change and I'll get back to making them more often. I've been working on a few here lately, so we'll do that. I wanted to do some more live feeds because I kind of like just knowing who all enjoys the content, is getting something from the content. Sometimes it's easier for you guys to ask questions for questions that you got here instead of in the comments section, because I get to them as fast as I possibly can. I think we're getting somewhere around the 5,000 mark. So I mean, sometimes there's a lot of questions and comments, but I try to get back to everybody best as I can. Josh, man, uh, no audio. Let's see, I may be pressed on the button or something. Son of a gun. Yikes. Yeah. You guys still there? Did I hurt anybody? Or just my phone? Okay. Awesome. Well, bottom line, we're going to get back into. I'm going to try to put some more constant content out. And if I don't, then I plan on doing some live feeds with you guys so we can go over anything you want to go. I think I seen somebody here. Um, if it's still spinning for you guys, you you may want to stop it and restart it, because I think it's going right now. You may be on the old one, maybe out of it and try to go back into it. Um, we get everybody here because I'm getting comments that are saying it's still spinning. Whoa, John's there. I think, John, are you the one that asked for better lighting? I think it was you. So I'm trying to brighten it up here, and it's killing me. Like, I feel like I'm on stage somewhere. So kind of blasting me right in the face. See if I change it a little here. All right. So let's get into. Is everybody there? No. Actually, I was talking about Hillstrand. Um, I think we have two Johns now. I'm gonna call you Jonathan. Josh Man's here. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Let's get into just talking rigging gear. That's what originally the first video that I did in this was my climbing gear box. I always have it. It's always in the truck. I keep it in that little briefcase so I keep everything together, and I appreciate that, Jonathan. Thanks, buddy. I try to keep everything together, and I find it best for me. It kind of makes things a little more efficient. Knowing, when you go to a tree job, usually you could look at it and know I'm going to be rigging today, or I'm going to be doing a lot of climbing today, or I'm just going to be doing a lot of falling today. That's usually your three options. So, I like to have those kind of set in their own areas. So it'll be a 3-part series. The other part will be like my saddle, spikes, ropes, stuff like that. So actually, there's my rigging line in this too. So this is everything rigging, even rope. So except for like some taglines. Okay, Matt says, I'd like to hear your opinions on stretching dollars in the winter, way to optimize job site efficiency, and, yeah, I mean, you just really, it's, during the spring, summer, it's just, there's those days, and I know most of you guys are going to have them, where that neighbor asks for something, and you're tired. You got to get that. You got to do that extra, that extra there through our spring, summertime, fall, to get yourself through winter. Unless you want to evaluate during the winter time and get into try to keep doing your trees, but add something else like firewood, stuff like that. So. Yeah, definitely. Probably another live feed all in itself. I agree. So, um, what's we got here? Need to do your extra gear you have or don't use. Yeah. Maybe we'll do something like that on some gear as I go through it. A lot of my gear may look like it's good and it could be used, but I hate to go give somebody something or raffle it or give it away and it fail on them, because usually there's a reason I'm not using it. So on that gear part, but there's some things that like I guess some figure eights and stuff that people could use. I use them on silly stuff sometimes, but your wife climbed. Really? That's awesome. That is cool. Yeah, now let's get into the rigging stuff, guys. Um I am a big ring advocate, so right from the get-go, that's I do all my rigging for the most part with rings. unless I'm doing some lifting, and I got a couple like 1 ton, 2 ton block pulleys that I use. So, um, dang it, you know what? I left something outside that I made too, and I'll show you guys because I'm not going back outside. It's cold, and I'm in my PJs right now. Let's see what we say here. I'm interested in the all gear. Yeah, we'll definitely touch base. I got a lot of all gear stuff. Hit the bin right, ultra. Oh, cool. You did. Yeah, a lot of guys say that they really like the ultra sling to be able to do that, and to have the extra holes to be able to set it anywhere. That would be cool. But I'll explain why my bin right ring is set up the way that it is. I'll explain the reason that most of my rings are set up the way that they are when we pull them out. But you can see what I was doing there. I'm trying to rotate through my saws again. I got this 191. It's a pretty nice saw. But it runs pretty good. It's old though, but I want to have this rebuilt. I have a 200T here that I've been thinking about maybe seeing if, but Iron Horse says he doesn't want to do any, so we may go with, I don't know. We'll just see. I may do it myself. I may try to build it myself. And here's my 200T that just sits here because my 201 works so good. There's no need to pull it out. Alright. So, now, I keep this in this kind of airtight box here. It's not the fanciest thing. I'd like to have something a little better. But, it works for me. So, come down here. Come down here. Or maybe I'll bring you guys back up. We'll put it. Look, here, I'll let you look into the box. This is how it's set right now. The major things. What we'll do is we'll set it like this. I'll show you the few major things here on top. And then I'll put you up so we have the tables to set rings and stuff out and kind of talk about them. So, first thing you see is a Maze Dam rope puller. I actually got like 3 of them for free. And I started using them. I gave one away and broke one. I think it got ran over. And then this is my last one that I got left, but I love these things. These are a lifesaver in tree work. So takes 3-strand rope, 1/2 inch, runs through it. It's just a come along set basically. Here is my rigging rope. I believe that's a weaver bag. It's a really good bag. It stayed straight for the longest time. And, it's a pretty long, pretty big bag. I could put a bunch of rope in it, but I just keep my rigging rope in there. And my rigging rope this is an all gear 9/16 Husky bull rope. And it is the biggest rigging rope I use. I've really put a beating on this thing, and I have multiple years. It's probably going on almost 2 years of really beating that rope up. So, highly recommend that. I think it's a hard rope to get now. I don't think that they were selling it for a little bit there, but they may be selling it now. And oh yeah, by the way, all gear don't give me anything, so it's not like I've been paid or asked to say anything about all gear. I heard nothing but bad things about them, so I tried them myself to find out. And I've tried a lot of things that a lot of guys have talked bad about, and sometimes they're right, but I've had different opinions on a lot of the stuff. So this here, let me get out of the light. That's way better. Okay, this here is my ratchet strap for my most important piece of gear, which is my bollard from Greg Brown. I use this thing to death. It is so nice. So nice. It was a major upgrade from my homemade porter wrap that I have in here, I think. But major upgrade, so I highly recommend these bollards. And actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you guys, but Greg I'm about to tell a secret. He's working on a bollard right now that is a killer. Is a beast. And I can't wait to see it finished and being used and just hear what he says, because there's a lot of upgrades that he did to it, and he really beefed this thing up. And so, yeah. And I think Greg's on here. Oh, look at all the comments that I'm missing. So stupid. See, I thought you guys weren't saying anything because the comments weren't on here. Yeah, Josh, man, definitely a good piece of gear to get is the Maze Dam. I would definitely recommend it. The Maze Dam's awesome, yeah. Got one. Okay, right on. All right, well, so Greg, what I did here is I took and put a couple holes there. You guys can see, and I have a piece of angle iron that comes off of this, and it has a hand winch down here, so that I can pull straight down on it, and it just attaches with 2 bolts, real quick. That's out in the truck though. So now I'm gonna do it from like this. I think the lighting ends up being better anyway. Let's do it like this. So, first in tree work, anybody that does tree all the time knows, you need a good line to throw, just a jump line to throw over phone lines and stuff to pull them on my way. So, that's my junk line. With a junk carabiner. Very important. But of course it was on the top though, so that tells you it gets used. Yeah, Eric, I'm thinking about it. Alright, here we go. My homemade speed line setup. It's just a bunch of straps, carabiners. A few of them are locking. Here's my rigging beaner. It's steel, screw locking. So that's what I rig with, and I rig straps because it's easy when I set up rings to put a knot at the end of the rope instead of always tying a knot, because at some point there somebody will forget to tie the knot and it goes running through. So if I have to have a knot in my rope at all times at the end, why not use it? So I tie a alpine butterfly at the end, or a bowline with, and double it up. Use the alpine butterfly, and I just take a strap, throw it around the branch with the carabiner on it, cinch it up, and clip it onto the knot. So it's really quick process. If I wanted to do two, I could do that real quick. So it's easy for my guy down there. He's not untying knots, and I feel like it's pretty safe. You just need to inspect it. You know, you're not every time. You know, not every time, but every once in a while as you're going. So I found this S-beaner. Okay, my camera's on that side. I found this S-beaner at I don't know, like Dick's, probably. Yeah, it was at Dick's. Dick's Sporting Goods, I think. And what a name for it. What the hell? Yeah. Now, let me show you something here that's kind of neat. This here is just a straight, I made it into a speed line strap, but Tree Stuff had me set up with, I had them make me one of these out of, I bought 200 foot of this, so I had him, it's some AM steel, so I had him tie me a dead IM one, and then I had him do the same thing on some 1/2 inch, and I used this for a little while for one of my rings, and till I didn't, I just decided, I was like, I needed it one day for a speed line strap, an extra one, so I use it here. But yeah, I have a couple of these Deadeye slings, and this wasn't the purpose for it. When I originally had these made, I had it set up to help in a climbing system, so, but it ended up working out, so I don't need that on there no more. See my pretty table I made with my chainsaw? Alright. But that's a quick setup. The guy on the ground can take them all off, click them on. So, and I can click it onto the back of me without having all this junk. It's not, they're kind of stuck there in that position. And then I can either unclip them off, or I can easily just push and grab the first one. Yeah, Sam Steel is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I feel like the rope setup that I use feels the safest for me. I run my rings to the tree, and then I come down and I tie, usually not a bowline because I just feel like it can slip. If I do, I make sure I got a stopper knot. But I usually run a alpine butterfly there, and then just clip into it because it's easy to untie at the end, and it's easy to inspect real quick. So first, here's my first ring. I think it was the first ring I owned. Yeah, because here, let me show you. These don't even say notch on them. I bought it before notch came in the picture. You can't. I don't think you can get an X ring even that doesn't say notch on it no more. But I don't know if the lighting will pick it up. Yeah, there they are. Now, also look at how that's set up. That's actually just girth hitched to big sling here. So I can take this off, and the reason for it is I want to be able to take these off and inspect my rope there. So I just slide that down, pop the ring out. Sometimes I like to use my rings in different things too, so but this ring gets used like if I'm doing redirecting, or I like a straight sling for if we're doing span rigging or speed lining, or definitely like double whip. I'm gonna put out a like a compilation, a quick little compilation video because I got some clips left, and show some rigging and some like tree techniques that we've won over. So that'll come out soon. But yeah, I attach that ring like that. And then the way I always wrap my slings up is with just like a daisy chain. So, and I'll do that all the way up and then slip it through. I won't make you guys sit through all that. Next, and something you guys probably don't see me use much, is the notch safe block. I don't know if any of you guys have safe block. If you enjoy them, like them, have any input on them. I haven't used it much, to be totally honest. I have it on this so I could take it off. So I could put it onto anything like one of my whoopee slings or something like that. So that's the reason it's on a... Ow, damn. I don't know, it's probably a 10-foot piece of... I don't even know. I don't remember now what this rope was. But I think I got it in a bag of rope from Tree Stuff. They sent me a free bag of rope with an order one. And I think it was when they sent me this. They sent me a rope wrench tether. But yeah, they sent me this rope in it, and I made a bunch of different slings out of it. So there was the safe block. Yeah, I like the safe block. It's, you know, you have a ton of options there. That's the best part about it. You can control friction from up in the tree, but the problem is, you know, let's say you do a big branch. Now you have all that friction up there. If you're a long ways from it, sometimes it's a little tough to use. I think it's nice for spar work. You know, really nice for up doing spar work. It works so good then. And I tell you what, I'll use it the next time we take down a spar. I wish I would have used it on that walnut, but I didn't. So next is well, here's a large ring, but this one you can see has the Notch name on it. I got this right afterwards, so Notch then had like control of it, and yeah, it I like the look of the older ones. I don't know why, but that's friction. No, it is a good idea. Because you're actually setting friction. Whether you're doing natural crotch rigging, you wouldn't have to use so much down there at the base, but at the same way, like how you spread your stuff. I want to do a video on tree rigging. It takes a second to keep that rope in line with that tree, and you get way more power out of the tree if you run with the figure of the tree, the lines, the angles of the tree. So working with that, almost in that fishing pole effect, that's going to give you more strength. And same way in reverse, using the safe block, if you're getting out there on the limbs, you still want to redirect. You don't just want to go safe block straight down at a weird angle to a porter rack or over to another tree. That kind of stuff I don't like. I see that used a lot, and I think that's scary. I just feel like you're putting side load that limb's never felt before at a weird angle that it's never felt it. So yeah, it's a real good on the spars. So um, another 10-foot on that same rope that I was talking about. Yeah, yeah, the rings are so nice. Um, here's another ring. This is the Ben Wright ring. This is awesome. I use this so much. It's on a 5/8 whoopee sling, I believe. And same way that the other one is, this is girth hitched on. It has the multiple channels in it. So that's where it's hard, even if you're splicing or something. So when I kind of did a, they were needing a little bit of advertising, and I tried, to get the word out for them. So they actually sent me this ring, but they were having troubles on on getting it put on a sling and sending it across borders or something. So apparently now they partnered up with Tree Stuff, so I think you can get them there. But yeah, I agree with old Josh man there. It the the pulleys I'm not a fan of, because I feel like they help the piece run. They actually give you a mechanical advantage. They're helping that piece go down faster than it would if you were natural crotch rigging. So you are actually stretching your ropes. I feel like rings don't stretch ropes like pulleys do. I see the, the common sense in it, and the information I've heard, pulleys are harder on ropes by far. I think you would have a little more control, because you should. It's going faster. You're able to slow more down, but I don't know, it's a hard concept to kind of explain. But I'm not a fan of, when I'm rigging, especially negative rigging, using pulleys. So that is that's my bin right ring. It's on all gear. That's, like I said, that's from all gear. The whoopee sling, or is it? I don't know if it's loopy or whoopee, to be totally honest. It's one of them two. So it only adjusts at one end, so I think that's actually a loopy. All right, now here's one of my blocks. Very old. On an old steel beaner. It's at the very bottom of my case here. I'm kind of grabbing by stuff. Here's a real good tagline that I got. I actually got this in that same bag of rope that I made all them slings with. It was the best bag of rope I ever seen in my life. So I was so excited. And then I bought a bag of rope. Or you know what? That may be from the second one, because I bought a bag of rope afterwards and it sucked. So it kind of, I guess it's kind of a crazy guessing game when it comes to that. Okay, let's see. The bin radius seems small sometimes. Are you talking about on rings or on uh, pulleys? Because if you're talking about rings, that bin radius is really important. So that's why when you're talking about rigging pulleys, they always run off of a certain, I guess sheave or whatever that is. It's got to work with the bend radius to be considered a rigging. That's why you can have micro pulleys and climbing and all that. But why does I hate this. There's like 50 comments that I haven't read, and I'm in it. All right. Yeah. Okay. On rings. Whoopi has a nice Boston. Oh, okay. Well, we got whoopies. All right. Whoopee. We figured it out. When you're dealing with rings, usually you can get away with, let's say you run redirects. Now, if I'm running a redirect from here, but we're rigging, okay, the rigging's down here, it comes up, it runs over to this, then it comes here. I can get away with running off of a single ring, because the bend radius isn't so extreme at this point. It doesn't go straight up to a ring and go straight down. Now the redirects help. This is no longer your bend radius. Your bend radius isn't. You've changed it by putting one over here. So you can totally change your bend radius in the tree and run off of a single ring then. Now when you're doing spar work or doing negative rigging, you need to add rings. The bend right ring, being extra wide, allows you to use it for a primary and it still be safe bend radius wise. So, and I think the reason for it only takes like up to a 5/8 rope. Anything bigger than that it won't take, because I think then when you're at that point 5/8, you need to increase that bend radius probably more. You know, if a 5/8 rope will break, that's probably when they feel like that ring, you need to have another ring. So depending on your weight, needs to, that's where your bend radius needs to come in. So I hope that made sense. Oh, cool, awesome. I hope it did. Thoughts on women in the tree biz? Um, I think it's its own thing. If you want my honest opinion, I think it's its own thing, and I think we should respect it kind of as its own thing and treat it as its own thing, because I think a lot of guys that put in a lot of hard work and have spent lifetimes in this and things like that, and see a chick that just picked up a saw the other day and she just is, some people are naturals, but because there's no women in this line, they stick out, really do stick out. And I think there's some really good ones, but I think there's few that take the job serious that I've ever ran into personally. So I think women, I just look at it as its own thing, because they're so rare, the ones that really want to do it. But those that do, that I've seen, I've been impressed with a few, you know. Um, I've seen where some maybe have made it a long ways because they're beautiful girls, or women. So who knows? I mean, there may be dudes out there. I just don't pay attention. There's probably good-looking dudes that like take tattoo or shirts, no shirts on, running their saw. For my, I know, but yeah, I think as far as women, I just kind of think of it as its own thing, and it's neat to see, because I've seen some that I think would show plenty of dudes up. So I'd like to see it personally, because me myself, I've never really seen it myself, to be there. But I think it's pretty cool. There's a few of them that I find pretty entertaining. But yeah, I think sometimes being pretty can get you a very long ways too. That's why I ain't made it far. You know, I'm proud of my ugliness. Alright, now this is the only B string. Now that I showed that I'm like some misogynistic pig, and every chick, there was probably like two of them anyway that unsubscribed. But I hope not. I tried not to. My wife would probably get mad at me if I said anything mean anyway. That's awesome. Like I said, I've seen some that I feel like would show plenty of dudes up. John, I'm dead serious. But they're few and far between. They're a unicorn, It used to be that the unicorn in tree work was a sober tree climber, that didn't have a habit. And so nowadays it's more, if a chick can be pretty and do it, she's gonna be on all your ads for tree, for steel, and it doesn't matter. Just appreciate it for what it is, I guess. Good on them. But there's, sounds like your wife's a hard worker. You know, doesn't sound like she got anything to give to her. I guarantee you, most of them. I just don't see how they could do it. If you want I'm gonna keep going. Hang on. Around here, it would take a girl so long to get anywhere, to get any, but social media completely changed that. So maybe I'm thinking of some girls know how to just deal with dudes. That's a rare thing too. She better, she's gonna have to doing this kind of work. It sounds like your woman's got her figured out, you know. Um, and she's smart. Get with a tree climber, you know. That's the ticket. This is like I said, that's a B string on. I got this, I think, with it. It's a 3/4 inch dead eye sling, and I don't use this too much, but the bend radius is better on this. It's a lot bigger, so um, it's nice compared to the little large rings. You get a better bend radius, so you can get away with using a B string where you wouldn't on that. You just watch your bend radius. If you're gonna use rings, you really just gotta watch it. So here, other thing in there, I got another whoopee sling on some 3/4 inch, I think, 10x, and I'll show you my old nasty homemade quarter wrap. There it is. It only weighs like 150 pounds. So it was a little tough to set up sometimes. Greg sent me that bollard, and I think the bollard's lighter. And there's way more metal there. So, yeah, I don't know what we made this out of, like wrought iron or something. Here, so I believe my last rings. Yeah. Yes, this is the last of the rings. It's the all gear set, the ring to ring. Now, the nice part about this is there's where it sets there. And you get that huge bend radius because you're using 2 rings. Now, for those of you that have rings and you want to use them in a negative rigging way, but you don't have it like this, let's say, I'll kind of give you guys a little trick here. Let's say this is, I think, probably what I was doing anyway. We have, you guys see that? You guys are nuts. Here you go. This thing has been awesome. It's retrievable because you're running off 2 different sized rings. You see? As long as this one is different than this one in size inside here, you can retrieve it. It doesn't matter what it is. You may have to use something else to retrieve it, but a simple knot works on this. Runs through this, simple knot catches it, and pulls it out. I'll sometimes run that. You can crisscross them if you need. You could even girth them around a limb, kind of like that, and hook them on. But then you're not retrievable. So as long as you keep them this way, and I think I've wrapped them before even. As long as you keep that one on the bottom, when it comes out, it grabs this, and this will whip over and come down. So these are really nice. I would recommend. I've really put a beating on these, and they still. Tell you the truth, I haven't inspected these in a really long time. I've done so much with them that I just take for granted that they look good. And I find But yeah, they're nice. They're nice. I would recommend them. So if anybody's thinking about these, it's probably my favorite primary rigging spot because I put it at the last spot, okay, where your primary point is your lowering point. So these are setting up on that limb up there, and when I take that limb and I want to take the one, I got another ring set down below it, I can just retrieve it, bring it down, set it up below it, do it that way. It being retrievable is the greatest thing. But I'm going to show you, you can also make one that's retrievable yourself. Or you can add and make a double set yourself by just, let's see if I can do this. I believe I did this once before, but I'm going to do it again. Now, let's say you got 2 rings, but you don't want to have to sit there and time over and over and over. You can make this a double ring setup. Now, I just take this. When I did it, I think last time, I just tied a real stinking big bowline. And now I just made this, whether you wanted to do that in alpine butterfly or whatever you wanted to make this loop. But I'd like it actually to be further down, so here, this. You just want this thing what the heck am I doing? Okay. Now you have this thing on a big loop, and you'll just take it. Probably one less. Not through whatever, but and you just line it up. Of course, that doesn't look the prettiest because I didn't try to line it up right, but you can add it straight to it, and then if you needed to, you could adjust that out if you needed. But just a little trick to where you just need to make sure you put enough wraps. Like I probably could have used another one so that the 2 rings line up, but it's just adding width to it and helping the bend radius. So maybe that helps somebody. I don't know. Yep, those are probably my favorite rings, guys. Oh, we got Brush Life. What's up, buddy? um, yeah, for people that got rings, it's a good idea. And let's say you had like a set like these. These would be easy to go ahead and attach to this. You would just take this here. Sometimes I want to cut that sleeve off. It gets on my nerves. But you can take these. It's probably the best to keep them together. And I've never done this, but just from what I know, this should work. And then you want to get them to where they line up with your other ring down there, but I imagine I could tie it up in a BT or something like that right here and just use it like a prusset. And then run the rope through it. I don't know. I'll play with that later. See if I can figure out a way to use that like that. But it's just, I enjoy bringing my gear in, do a gear check, fiddle with it, think of some new stuff. You know, I steal ideas from people all the time. I try to give credit when I take somebody's idea. Like, uh, like the idea for the ring, to attach the ring. That's actually Richard Mumford came up with that idea. It was genius. So, yeah, I didn't come up with that. Well, yeah, I think you're right, Josh. The seven wraps usually would work, and it it just it ends up working so nice. You want to keep your knot down here small and kind of out of the way, but as that set itself, because I took a wrap away like an idiot, it would it would cinch up and be a lot nicer and probably line up to the ring better. But it never hurts to do a gear check. And I think, guys, to be totally honest, I need to say this is the probably most important piece I have. I gotta thank Greg. He's helped me. I would say he's helped my channel, but he's just literally he's gave us content, with packages and stuff that he's brought in definitely, and he helps the content. But he's helped me a lot, and I tell Greg I appreciate it. You guys, I'm gonna see if there's some way I can steal some. Show you guys this new bollard, but it's awesome. He's a wizard when it comes to metal work. His work here on the bollard is awesome. So yeah, I think you guys will like it. Oh, I forgot. I don't ever use this. Does anybody ever use one of these? Just like everything, Notch now makes it. So here's how it works. This thing works pretty good. It's another device, kind of like the safe block, where you're controlling friction from up in the tree. So it cracks open like any block. So this is about as close as I get to using a pulley, and it's square with them prongs. And what you do is set it on a sling or something, and then according to how much friction you want, you would run a rope up through this hole around there. Then you would come back down, you would go there, and then you would actually wrap this 3 times, and that's where you would get your friction. So you would eliminate wraps. If you wanted less friction, add wraps. If you wanted more. Anybody else have one? Use one? Um, I can't say that I would recommend. How much are they now? So it's a what do we have there? Mo Odie. Um, it's almost basically like a pulley and a porta wrap. You know, had a baby or something. I don't know. Porta pulley. I, Pulley wrap. 200. Yeah. Well, I think if it was me, I would buy a safe block, because I think probably price wise they're probably the same. That's where I bought this, and then I ended up wanting the safe block afterwards, because probably August put out some awesome video that showed it in it, and I was like, oh man, and then I seen Painter Man, and then he did it, and then I found JT, and then he did it, everything you could possibly do with one, and I just had to have one after that. So yeah, if those of you that probably, I doubt that there's probably very many, but if you're interested in the rings and what what they're about, what you can do with them, I would recommend checking out the X-Man, JD. I think it's JDD, Dave, but he's the guy that put it together. Check him out. But he does some really cool videos. Bannerman also, Lawrence Schultz. Really good videos. I think the B String Boys is probably my favorite video. Between that and the probably original A Team, I really like them. So yeah, John, it's a good piece. I would recommend the Safe Block. Before I would say to buy the aerial friction brake, because that's what it's called, aerial friction brake. But yeah, I would recommend buying a Safe Block. So on a big job with only one ground guy. Yeah, and then you're talking about um, it is. I would say I know how much friction I need up there. That ground guy puts an accidental wrap sometimes, and that's a big no-no. It'll rock you throughout the tree. Well, I'm basically setting it. What you would do instead of using a porter wrap down there when you're using the ring, or just put it on the porter wrap. So you're not actually taking all these wraps a lot of times. Or you can use two rings or two holes of it and take two wraps or a wrap. So it is what it is. It kind of varies. Um, no, I'm looking down here. I do have a 5-to-1 here. It's a CMI that I keep in there, and I'll probably be using this in some upcoming videos. We're gonna do the trailer crane video. I just finished. It'll be coming out soon. That way we don't get so far away from it in the video lineup. That way we're done with it. It's coming out. I'll show you my finished product. Some of you may have seen them on Instagram, but that's coming out. I don't know if any of you guys, if you ever need a retrieval ball, you don't have to spend the money. Buckingham's are pretty expensive. These little bungee things work too. So, yeah. You kind of got to grind maybe that little groove off there sometimes because it's got one. But, yeah, I got these little bungees and then realized that, man, those work really good for retrieval. And they're really long here, longer than the other ones. I can get a better wrap sometimes on heavy stuff like rings. And it's got a little give to it. Another junk like 1-ton block. So I think that's like a 2-ton there. And I had some old man give me a bunch of these. There's strapped with rings on them, and I just use them for anchor points. There's a couple more of them. Some of them got sleeves. This one, for some reason, has got another clip on the end of it. I don't know. I was walking through a flea market and he sold them to me for $2. So, guys, there's my rigging gear. It's kind of getting late, so I'm gonna roll through this here. Yeah, yep, yeah. Dave, Educated Climbers, also got a video on the Safe Block. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the rings have came around. A lot of guys weren't about it there at first, so I just trusted that. Almost, it's silly to say, but I put my trust in guys that I watched and I respected. I felt like they wouldn't use it, and I've seen the way they were using them, and I don't feel like they would use them or try to sell them or put their name on them if they weren't good. So I had to give them a shot. I almost kind of wanted to support them guys by doing it. So that was my main reason for kind of getting into it originally. but then I also wanted to do a video on a comparison of like a year or 2 years use on all the kinds of rings that there are. So I have an original X ring. It's been used the longest. It looks the best. Then I have a couple. I have a notch. Looks pretty good. I don't use it that much. Another original one, the safe block. So I'll do a comparison eventually, and we'll kind of inspect them and see where the wear and tear is at. But guys, I think I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys sitting here through this. I enjoyed going through it. Dave says, hang on here. Double B strings. Yeah, Dave, I enjoy working the angles of a tree to get the most out of it and be able to rig some pretty ignorant stuff. Sometimes with the right redirects, you can get some insane holding support by playing spars and limbs against the direction that they're going. Gravity's always a factor. So to play that limb back against its lean, you're always getting the most out of it. So I try to do a lot of that when I'm doing redirects. Play against the lean, bring them 2 points together that would normally be like this, kind of out at an angle. But when you put a ring here and a ring here, when you lower it here, it says brings them together instead of when you got a limb, a ring here, and you run your rope down straight down. It just says it pulls the limb. So you're just not getting everything out of it. You're leaving some to chance, and I don't like doing that. That's just my own personal opinion. Guys, I appreciate it. We'll do more. Okay. Thank you. See ya. And I'll see if I can put a compilation video out here very soon. See you guys. Appreciate it.